It doesn't matter to me whether we win by 10 or lose by 50. As long as you guys have fun, that is what matters. And are we having fun?
Yes, coach! Let's go!
So we're gonna have OC on 3. We're gonna get back in our lines. Ready? Ready? Come on, everyone. Gloves in. Ready?
Bring it in.
1, 2, 3.
OC!
Run out there. Run out there. If I told you.
Moses' heart is like the embodiment of what Oakland Lacrosse is supposed to be about.
I appreciate him taking time out of his day to help make us better in the sport that we love.
One of my favorite things about Moses is just his resiliency. Moses joined us as an 8th grader and instantly brought positive energy to the team. Played with us all the way through high school, so he was with us for 5 years. And it was amazing to just see his development through kind of each aspect of our program.
So Moses came home one day and told me he'd like to play lacrosse. I didn't know what lacrosse was, so I thought it was a knitting kind of crochet thing or some kind of dance. I had never heard of lacrosse before, but once he started playing lacrosse, he started building confidence and started learning how to get support from other people, and he definitely learned how to speak up for himself. It's just made him grow as a great human being.
And then when he went to high school, I think his high school transition was hard because he went from being the leader of our 8th and 9th grade team to being a sophomore with a team with a lot of seniors, and they weren't necessarily responding to his energy at that time. And he wasn't a starter anymore, and he wasn't playing as much. And that was a really tough time for him. And I know at those times, his sophomore and part of his junior year is really thinking about quitting, but he kind of just kept sticking with it.
Coming from like a place like Oakland Lacrosse where it's like everyone gets in, adapting to high school was a little harder. But in a way, I think I learned a lot through, adapting. It showed that I needed to work harder if I wanted to be on the field. Also, another part of adapting is making more connections on people who can help me.
I think it was his junior year. We had an opportunity to come back down and to engage with the younger kids. And as soon as we stepped here, we could see this like glow in Moses and the way that he was carrying himself and the way that he was interacting with the kids. It felt as though he was back, he was at home. Like this is where he was the most comfortable. By the time he was, leaving, he was at the top of the totem pole in terms of like who's running the show. So by the time he was a senior, like Moses had a role again on the team. There was responsibility, there was accountability for him.
I really appreciated how welcoming it was to me in the beginning. He was always just the nicest person on the entire team. I probably wouldn't have stayed with the sport for much longer if it wasn't for how kind he was.
Once he got involved with the lacrosse team at Tech, that's where I started seeing him kind of grow and mature. I saw how he started evolving and finding himself and finding his voice. And I attribute a lot of that to lacrosse. Personally, as a mother, having my son in this program for all these years, I'm just so grateful.
Being an alumni, I think it helps me connect with the players differently because I was in their shoes at one point in my life, which means I did not know how to catch a ball. I didn't know what lacrosse gear was. I didn't know what the sport was.
I appreciate that Coach Moses don't just treat us like some little kids. He treats us like we're kids trying to work hard and learn how to do lacrosse.
Last week we had a game and one of our players wasn't able to get a ride to the game. So he just took the bus, went to his house, picked him up, got back on the public bus, and make sure our player got to the carpool to get to the game. Moses embodies our culture and what we want our graduates, our alumni of this program to be. We were able to establish a long-term relationship with Moses and his family. We've known him for 5 years. We know, where he went to school, what challenges he had, what successes we had, and we've kind of been there all the way with him. He's at Laney College with his ambitions to be at Laney for the next 2 years and then go off to a UC. We practice at Laney College, and here he is finishing up classes, coming and coaching, and he's an instant example for our players of what they can become.
Being a coach and being an alumni here, I get to see players who are taking the same exact steps as I did all those years ago. So I think it helps me learn more, and also it in a way is a little easier to understand where my players are coming from when they feel bad that they don't catch, or they miss a pass, or they don't score. Knowing what I know now, I would say keep your head up and never stop working hard.